Perfect samosas, do they exist or are they just a myth? After this 2-part samosa series, you're going to be able to say a resounding and confident, yes, they do exist. Today we'll make our samosa filling and our paper-thin sheets of dough. So these are our ingredients for the filling. I cook my filling by adding everything to the sufuria apart from the spring onions and the dania leaves. And then what I do is I let everything cook on medium heat until all the water dries up from the mincemeat, and then that's when I come and add water and cover and leave it to simmer for a further 15 minutes. And that's when I know that the mincemeat is done. You might be wondering why I do not saute anything here. If you want to use oil, you can go ahead and do that. I just, figure that if I am going to deep fry my samosas, why am I adding more oil inside the samosas? So as you can see there, I have let my mincemeat simmer and the water has evaporated, and this is when I come and add my spring onions. Now I let the spring onions just cook till they're softened, and this takes like 2-3 minutes. And then I add my dania leaves, stir, and then put off the heat. Now I randomly added this green peas that I found as leftovers in my refrigerator. They're optional, you don't have to add them. These are our ingredients for the dough. Start by adding your flour into your container that you'll use for kneading along with the salt. Mix it in properly and then add your oil. Rub it in so that it's well incorporated. And then start adding your water in little amounts per time until all the flour is incorporated into the dough. Do not be in a hurry to add your water, just take your time. And here we are aiming for a stiff dough because it's easier to work with when we are making these samosas. Do not let it become too sticky. And once all the dough comes together, turn it over onto your counter. Knead for about 7 minutes and it's done. So oil it and place it in a plastic bag or cover it with a cloth and let it rest for an hour for the next bit. So now it's after an hour. You can see the dough is slightly on the stiff side. So divide it into 2 portions. And set one aside covered so that you can use it later. So flour your working surface along with the dough and roll it out to a 15-inch diameter circle. And then take a circular cutting tool that is 7 inches in diameter and cut out 3 circles. I used my plastic container that is 7 inches. Then peel off the excess dough, roll it and set it aside so that you can use it later. And then make sure you flour your surface under the dough so that it doesn't stick, and then apply oil followed by a sprinkling of flour. Then place the second sheet of dough on it. Do not skip on any step, and then repeat like for the first dough. Oil, flour, then place the third one on top of it. Now come and sprinkle flour on your dough and on the working surface so that nothing sticks. If it sticks, it's going to be disastrous. Move it around and make sure that nothing is stuck, and then proceed to roll it out to a 10-inch diameter circle. This makes your sheets of dough to become more thin. Once you're done with rolling, come and make these indentations that you're seeing me make here along the perimeter of your sheets of dough. This is a very important step. Please do not skip it. And then come and place your sheets of dough on your cooking pan that is on very low heat. And this is because we do not want the dough to dry out before we are able to separate it into different sheets. And then start tapping on your dough like you're seeing me doing here, like pap, 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 like that. So keep tapping. While we're doing this, it's because as the steam in between the layers heats up, it begins to form air bubbles. And as you keep tapping, you're forcing them to join together. So keep tapping, don't get tired. Now as you can see, after 5 minutes of tapping, there is that air bubble I was talking of that has really become big, you see there. And keep tapping towards the edge so that the steam pushes out and you're able to start separating the layers of dough. So what happens after all that tapping? Let me show you how the steam escapes. Pay close attention to the bottom left hand corner of your screen. You've seen that steam escape. Let me show you. Boof. Again. Boof. Right? That's what you want to see. Once that happens, you're ready to peel off your first layer of dough. So just peel off that sheet of dough and be very careful because in between those layers is steam and it's very hot and it can burn you. So just take your time and peel it off. Right? And then repeat the same process of tapping. It requires patience, but it's all worth it. Even if you have 10 sheets of dough, you will keep doing the same thing over and over until you peel them all off. They will not stick together. And so this is my sheet of dough. You can see how thin it is. You can even see my fingers through it. Right, and here are my sheets of dough that I've already prepared. And the advantage of this is that you can freeze it and use later, and they are much easier to handle than fresh dough. So make sure you've covered your sheets of dough as well, because they dry up very fast. Please join me for part 2 as I show you how to make these perfect triangular samosas and cook them. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new. Please rate this video, subscribe and share it with your friends. Till next time, goodbye.